Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the single player Let's Play series. So today we are going to do a couple of very fun things. There's been a decently big pack update if you are playing along, so look forward to that because we have done quite a few pretty cool things with the pack. Some of the biggest ones of note is we've added a new add-on. It's called the Beyond Earth Gazelle add-on, and this adds a oxygen can that we can make and equip as a curio. I think that means it'll equip in any curio slot, so probably charms are where we'd put these, but that's my guess. I'm actually not even sure why we have so many charm slots, because I guess probably one for each of these is the thinking that thermal expansion did here. But yeah, we can equip those there, and that allows us, also, I don't know if you noticed, allows us to add augments to our mecha suit. So we've had our mecha suit for only an episode or two, and we already had to take it off to go to space, and that kind of wasn't fun. So I thought it'd be great if we had this add-on, which I didn't even know existed, which allows you to... Poor guy. Which allows you to add these same exact augments that you would probably need if you yourself were going to space. So this will allow us to breathe in space, to use our oxygen can or cans to access oxygen while in space, so on and so forth. There's a lot of stuff that we can do here. So let's get these started. So there are a couple of pretty big units. If we're going to go to Venus, we're going to need something for acid protection. So the acid proof add-on here is going to do it. But that's going to require us to actually, go to Mars first, which is what we're going to do today. There is the space breathing unit, which is an absolute must for us. This is how we're going to breathe. And as you can see from the tooltip, we'll also fill the held item with oxygen when in rain or water, so it's also an electrolytic separator of sorts, and then it will require having an oxygen can in your inventory, and you can have up to 4 of these, so we're probably going to make all 4. And you'll notice that unlike the other modules that we're using pink slime, all of these space modules are going to use the ether gas instead. So that's going to be a little bit expensive, but not that big of a deal. And then we're also going to have the space fireproof, which means if you won't be set on fire in Beyond Earth's dimensions, or in other words, in space. And then you can normalize the gravity like in the overworld using this module, which I think is pretty cool. And we may, in fact, do that as well. So, taking a look around, I have noticed that there was also a decently big immersive engineering update. It wasn't too big. It looks like it's largely just an art update, which is funny because with this pack also comes preloaded with, what is there's an immersive updated or engineering updated? I don't remember the name of the resource pack, but it sort of modernizes immersive engineering. But the only big multi-block structure we have, which is the only one that I noticed, was that this guy now looks a little bit less steely and actually shows the blast furnace that we used to make this, because remember, this was made of the exact same number of blast furnace bricks as the original blast furnace we had. So I think it's kind of fitting and kind of fun that this is now going to actually start reflecting it texturally. So pretty fun stuff. Anyways, let's get into these augments. We're going to need more of the module base. We have quite a few. That should be okay for now. And of course, we're already set up here in our dissolution chambers for all of our automation, and we've got this guy still running, which is good. And this goes in the helmet. Okay. And then if we look at Gazelle, we're also going to need an oxygen can or a few. I think we can have up to 3 or 4. I don't know if Curio means it'll only go into this one slot, or if it'll go into any slot from Curio, which is all of these. No idea. We'll figure that out. Then there's, let's see, the space breathing. Gravity normalizing, I think I can live without. I think it's fun, the gravity being kind of different. But we definitely need to be fireproof in space. Otherwise, we will be, well, on fire in space. And you'll only need the one. So that one should be pretty straightforward. The protective fabric is just some rubber. And we needed 2 of those. So we'll grab 2 of those. And then we should be okay to make, once this is done, there we go. We should be good to make that, like so. And then we just need a netherite ingot, which we have no problems making whatsoever at this point, thanks to the laser miner I set up previously, and then our module base. And that's going to go, as you recall, over here. And that's going to just go ahead and do its thing. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and get our space breathing unit stuff ready. So we're going to need 4 of these. We're going to need a bunch of red wool. Let's go ahead and grab some roses. And I don't know if... I don't think red wool has another recipe. I think it's just the one, right? Back in previous versions of Minecraft, you could always go through and make like 8 wool colored at a time by doing like a circle and then the 1 dye, and I couldn't remember if that was in this pack or not as well. Okay, so we're going to need, let's see, 6 per, so we're going to need 24 in total red wool. And then we should be good to get our, I think we have plenty of iron plates. I'll go ahead and get another stack for now. And where did, oh right, the module went into our ME network, or not ME, sorry, our refined storage network. Forgot all about the differences here. It's what I get for playing other packs in parallel, I suppose. So we'll go ahead and get ourselves the required oxygen tanks. So we're going to need 8 of those. We're also going to need the oxygen gear, and that's going to need 4 of those. And so now if we do this and this, we'll go ahead and lock that recipe, let it do its thing. In the meantime, let's go ahead and apply this. This goes to the body armor, so let's get our armor here off. I'm also going to go ahead and reclaim my elytra, and we'll put those away. They were fun to have for an episode, but you know, in the end, we didn't actually need them, and I like having the mecha suit we worked so hard for, so I'm not really going to complain. So we'll go ahead and load up our body armor there, and go ahead and load in the space fireproof unit. Load up another recipe for the air breathing. And so now the fireproof unit, I don't think has any real configuration, just enabled or disabled, which is just all we need really. And that's going to do that. And then we can start with those. And yeah, we did modify the quests a little bit to include the, that's probably what you were just saying. There is now an opportunity to go either with the spacesuit or any one of these spacesuit equipments, or the space breathing unit, depending on which way you want to go. And so this explains that mechanic decently well. And let's go ahead and get some oxygen cans. So we'll need, let's try to do 4. I'm not sure if it, again, if it takes any curio. It looks like it does. So yeah, I mean, I'll take as much oxygen on the go as I can get. And it says that we should be able to, if we go to the space breathing unit, there's now a HUD for that, apparently. Oh yeah, in the lower right. And then if I stand here in the rain, these are in theory going to get filled up. Did I read that correctly? Let's try the water. Or is it specifically in the inventory? In the hand, even. That's actually really fast, though, so I will take it. Well, I say that's pretty fast. It actually kind of isn't. Okay, well, let me get those filled up then, and we will kind of fiddle with this and see how worthwhile it is in the end. That's weird that it doesn't render in my hand. Oh, it's rendering flat. I wonder if it's also rendering flat while I'm holding it, and that's why I can't see it. It's a little funky, a little weird. Anyways, let me get these cans filled up, and then we'll get everything we need to go, everything we need, rather, to go to Mars. I'm excited, though. All right, so our 4 oxygen cans are filled, which means we should be good to go to space on our own now. And it's not showing oxygen levels correctly. I wonder if these have to be in hand? I'm not sure. It's a little weird. It's not like the worst. I wonder if it's specific. No, if I move that to the curio slot, it does not matter. I don't know. I mean, you know, if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, let's bring our spacesuit with us just in case it doesn't work when we get to space, because that would be a bad time to find out. And I'd rather not. So we'll keep this around in here just in case. So we need to make a new rocket. I think I mentioned this last time, but we need to put our Mars rocket together. And I think I'm actually going to flip-flop these and put the Mars rocket here. That way they're kind of like evenly distributed. But anyways, we need a rocket tier 2. And of course, this is going to require fuel. That should surprise no one. But this is going to require a lot of new materials that you probably haven't seen yet. And we're going to need a nose cone. And we're not going to need 4 fins this time. We're actually going to need fluid tanks. And I don't think we have any. Oh, we do have any. Good, we do. And so we're going to need extra tanks as our fuel capacity has increased. So let's go ahead and get this stuff put in here and ready and raring to go. And you've probably noticed some new materials requiring Desh, that material we got last time around. And I forgot to process that. I apologize. Specifically, I forgot to smelt it, but not really a big deal. our smelting factory here is pretty fast. So we'll go ahead and just do this and that. Like so. And again, super speedy, not really all that concerned. We're also going to need a couple of our machines from in here anyways, like our multi-server presses. So probably isn't that big of a deal that we're here. So we're going to need 2 dash tanks. We're going to need 1 dash ingot, and that's going to require a dash plate, which you can see is made a couple of ways. Biggest way that I think is, or at least the most compatible way, would be using the multi-server press, at least in my opinion. And that should do it. We should be able to autocraft most of everything else. So that's the dash ingot. And then the rest of it is just more compressed dash, which is 2 dash on the top, 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom, which is something that you don't see happen all that often with the multi-server press. But I'm actually really thrilled that that is something that, that we can do, that is available to us. And that's everything we need to make our next tier space, or spaceship, which is exciting. So let's go ahead and get that ready. Let's also get our buckets of fuel ready. I think we just need the 2, if I remember correctly. And so we come up here. We do these 6 here, our 2 tanks and our dash engine, and that's going to get us a tier 2 rocket. Hold your breath. Slightly loud noise. I have, in fact, turned this down, but still a little loud. Okay, not as loud as I thought. So that's our tier 2 rocket, and that's exciting. That's a goal and a task, but we have to actually take it to space. And that's the big thing, right? Now, I don't remember. Did we add the moon to the temp pad? Moon Village. That'll work. Okay. Because I'd love to go through and make teleporters with mechanism. In fact, you may have seen that at the beginning of the episode. But there's the teleporters. I've started to get a couple of these ready because you need, if you remember the structure, right, you've got the base and then you've got the frame. So I've got 5 ready. That's 1 for each of the major planets. And there's also Glacio, so I probably need another set of these. And then we've also got... so that'll be 6 in total. And then we've also got everything for 1 here in our main space base. But anyways, tier 2 rocket time. We got to load it up with fuel. And I think it requires 2 buckets. I want to say it's 2 buckets. Yep. And we're going to go and take these and refill them as well. That way we have them for our trip back, because that's very important. In fact, I may just go ahead and fill up all of these. And you can see, by the way, our refined fuel and oil setup, it's going very well. Going very well. Heavy oil, surprisingly, is not on high demand. Oh, but that's probably because heavy oil is getting processed first in the fractionating still, and the light oil has filled up in this, and it has nowhere to go because this light oil tank is full. That makes sense. Anyways, that's a bunch of buckets that we're going to bring with us. Try to put them in some sort of reasonably organized method. And we need more launch pads. I forgot about that. And so we have almost everything here. We just need, well, the remaining bits and bobs. So we've got the heat sink. And we're going to need our Supreme machine frame, which is probably currently crafting. I forgot, because we're not using the temp pad to go home, even though you absolutely can in your own playthrough. There is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's just not how I felt like doing things, you know? So we've got our heat sinks, and we have a machine frame on its way. Machine doesn't accept... Oh, did I lock this and not unlock it? I did. That's exactly what I did. My fault completely. And there's that, and we'll go ahead and put that together. And there we go. New launch pad for when we get to Mars, which is, in fact, the place that we are going to go today. So let's go ahead and hop on in. I've got a spacesuit that in theory should work. If it doesn't, we've got a fallback spacesuit. Let's try out Mars. No fuel. Yeah, you got fuel. Oh, you need more fuel than I thought. Whoops. You need 3 buckets. Well, today I learned what happens if you don't have enough fuel. That's a much cooler looking spacesuit, in my opinion. You gotta admit. And it's a pretty cool looking rocket, too. Although my wings are kind of, you know, clipping through. It's a little funny. Just a little funny. Are we there yet? Almost. We're just now leaving the atmosphere. Ooh, that is flashy. There we go. As the air thins, the noise gets a little quieter, and we'll go to Mars. So let's head on in. Let's see if our suit worked. I think it did. I'm just going to go ahead and go on down. Surprised that there's snow, even though we're this... Oh, yeah, we landed on one of the ice caps. Neat. Well, it looks like our oxygen is working. Are any of these going down at all? No, they're not. Kind of weird. Anyway, it's eerily quiet. Very eerily quiet. Let's go ahead and get our rocket out. Let's go ahead and put our new launch pad down. Put our rocket back on it for now. And let's go ahead and waypoint this as rocket. And also add this to our temp pad. That way we can come back here. So let's just do Mars. I'll come up with what that acronym stands for eventually. And now we can explore. So yeah, it seems like we landed on one of the ice caps of Mars. You can see the Earth way off in the distance. There's also Phobos somewhere around here, and the other small moon of Mars that I don't remember the name of. And you can see that there's one of them. And you can see that there is a little bit of like standard rockage around here as well. There's a new Martian or Mars sand, which is pretty fun to see. And there are fun caves, and these are very great. I really should have installed the night vision module. I need to do that. But you'll see that there is a new enemy down here, and these are just called the Martian Raptors. They are pretty spooky. They drop slime balls, though, which is fun. Wait. Okay, I was looking at the wrong tooltip. And they remind me of something you'd see out of, like, Metroid? I don't know. They're pretty cool, though. They remind me of one of the evolutions of the Metroid. The, Omega, I think? I can't remember. Anyways, so, yeah, if you couldn't tell, Metroid 2 is on my to-do list to finish up. Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of fun exploration to do here. There's also a new ore here that we're going to be looking for. But I really need that night vision, so I'm actually probably going to cheat and use my temp pad to go home. And we'll use our temp pad to get back as well, because that was completely an oversight on my part, because I forget that we don't have torches. So let's look at the night, or module. I don't remember what it's called. It's somewhere. Energy, attack, farming, shearing, silk touch ore, electrolytic, vision enhancement. Here we go. Oh, that's going to require one of these, which is going to require this. Well, that's going to be a process. I kind of regret that. That's not that big of a deal, though, actually. Golden carrots are not that bad. Let me make those potions, and I'll circle back around. All right, so that is a handful of night vision potions crafted up. Let's go ahead and turn these into the night vision modules from Pneumaticraft, which you may have noticed I never did make because they're just not my thing. Night vision usually isn't something I like to have on all the time, but in space we can't have torches, and I don't think I want to just place glowstone down every single place that I go. So night vision is our second best bet. And honestly, it's not that big of a deal anyways. Ooh, forgot about that. Let's just keep it to the 1 and the 1 for now. So yeah, these little night vision modules will let us turn on and off night vision, which I think is better than just having it on all the time or having to toggle it with some other keybind, because I believe there's a keybind for the vision augment from mechanism, maybe? I'll have to look and see. There's a lot of keybinds from mechanism and from pretty much every mod nowadays, and I don't blame them. Why did I search that? Let's see. Let's do mechanism for the category. Let's see. So this is the head mode switch, and that might be the one that I want. Let's just set that to N would have been actually ideal. Let's do... Am I using T for anything? How am I not using T for anything? Yeah, we'll just do that. And then if I hit T, any modules that I have on my helmet that I want to modify, I should be able to toggle whenever out and about, running around in the field, working on a handful of other things. Well, I actually had, oh, this is invisibility. I had 2 of the night vision, but not enough, obviously, to help at all, really. But yeah, the vision enhancement unit is red. I wonder if that's because it is one of those toggleable components. I'm not really sure. But yeah, now we can just use T to toggle it on and off, which is perfect because I certainly don't want it on all the time. Anyways, let's head back to Mars. Now we can have night vision on. Again, you can see why I probably wouldn't want it on all the time. And it looks like it is nighttime here at Mars. So we'll have Martian raptor. Yeah, I think they're just called Martian raptors all over the place. And then I think Phobos is around somewhere. Anyways, there's a lot of fun stuff for us to come and see at this point. And it's really wonderful that we have our mecha suit that we can now use with us all the time. It's pretty helpful not having to worry about stuff like that regularly as far as defense and also breathing, honestly. So let's head back down here. We'll turn night vision on, and let's see if we can find some of these new ores and just kind of explore the caverns as a whole, because they're pretty fun. I think it's neat how they've been designed a little bit differently than what I probably would have expected personally. And that makes them very fun to explore, at least from my perspective. So, and again, remember, we do have the kind of different gravitational field here, so it's a little bit slower falling. But, you know, with the Elytra on, it's kind of hard to tell, to be completely honest. Let's put it on just the standard vein mining mode. I don't need the hardcore vein mining. And there is a lot of iron here. Not really too surprised by that. Iron is in a lot of planets, and that's not really a particularly large surprise. It is one of the more abundant resources as a whole, especially in real life as well on these other planets. So as we head deeper, we should start to find ostrum. And we'll know it when we see it, that's for sure. I'm wondering if these are ever going to drain or if I just have infinite breathing. You know, I might look at that real quick. Let's take a look at the space breathing module and see if I misunderstood. So let's see. Space breathing unit can breathe in dimensions. Oh, it will also fill. Okay, maybe the requires an oxygen can and inventory thing is just how it is an addendum to the fact that it can fill oxygen cans and not a statement to that they are required for the module to work as a whole. I kind of don't know. Better safe than sorry, but we can test, I suppose, right? Like if I took all these out and put them away, am I going to suffocate? This is the real question. I think we're okay, but we'll see. I mean, you know. Am I mistaken? I thought ostrum was found, yeah, in Mars. Okay, I guess we're just still not deep enough. It's one of the, oh, well, there it is. So this is ostrum. Ostrum is a pretty cool ore. It'll smelt down, as you can probably expect. It also can be pulverized or crushed down. I'll probably use fortune on it like usual. And in fact, we should probably do that instead of using Silk Touch. Let me just switch modes back to the normal mode here. And let's go ahead and quickly place this down and see how much we get from fortune. Oh, we got 2 per. That works. So yeah, let's go ahead and turn this on and start trying to find some more ostrum. I'm just going to run around. This is pretty much the bulk of these caves, what you're seeing here. There's not really all that much. It's not meant to be, you know, the most exciting thing in the West. It's just a Martian cave with a lot of beautiful greenery and these guys. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's run around and find some ostrum. I'll be back when I have what I feel like is enough. And you've got to remember as well, ostrum is important. All of these intergalactic ores, or I guess it's the same galaxy, but still, all these other planet ores are going to be critical for some of the upgrades in thermal expansion as well, because they can be used to make improved augments, improved integral components. So as we get these resources, I'm not just trying to get enough to make the next tier rocket and explorer, but I'm also going to need to harvest these pretty regularly to make sure that we can get some of these better tier integral components. As you can see, because we've got Desh, we've got ostrum, and we've got the calorite, which is not one we have seen yet. Anyways, I'll be back when I've got something. So I've made an important discovery. I randomly started suffocating. I don't know why it took me so long. But then I noticed that there was a tooltip saying charge mode disabled. And right now it's enabled all armor, enabled all of inventory, etc., etc. So this is pretty cool. It looks like it refilled my chest plate. I quickly switched over to this because I was just randomly suffocating. But yeah, I have to wonder if that's going to... Yep, it will work as a curio. And that was, in fact, a requirement. We'll go ahead and do all inventory for now. And it was just kind of out of nowhere that it started happening, or at least that's how it felt. So let's go and turn the space breathing HUD back on, and you'll see that we are at 95% capacity, which sounds about right. So I guess somehow I was just going this whole way without oxygen. I don't really know. Anyways, I also wanted to note that there are diamonds in this area. Forgot about that. There's also the occasional spawner. I don't really know how to make this not happen because it's a cave. It's marked as a cave biome. And so there's not really a lot that I can do to prevent these from happening. So if you find one, congratulations. You weren't supposed to, but it's also not really your fault. It's just a fault with the way that world generation works right now. It's a little weird in 118 plus because everything is data driven. And so, you know, it's a data pack to do everything. And a lot of times you have to just rely on some tag possibly existing, possibly not existing, and just kind of hope for the best. And a lot of times there's not a tag or not a check for a tag that you need. And honestly, I don't know enough about data pack writing. Like, I know how to do a normal data pack, but doing world generation data packs are still a little over my head, which is, you know, not quite where I'm at yet. So there's not much that I know to do about it. So enjoy the occasional odd spider spawner and watch as the spiders suffocate because they can't breathe. It's a free farm, basically. But yeah, as we get lower and lower here, you're going to start noticing little pockets of lava. You're going to notice more ostrum. You're going to notice diamonds and more ice shards as well, which you can see I'm picking up as many as I can find because, once again, they're used pretty dang regularly. So kind of important, at least to me, to have something like that around. And we're picking up a good bit of ostrum. I'm going to probably try to get like 2 stacks or so and just run with it from there. Anyways, I'll report back if something interesting happens. All right, so I think that will do it. This is our loadout so far from all this exploration and caving and spelunking that I've been doing. Not bad, not bad. 4 stacks and some change in ostrum is plenty. So let's run this back over to our Mars teleport spot. And we will grab our fuel buckets and refill our rocket as we head back to Earth. And again, we have our tempad spot here, so I'll tempad back maybe here later in this episode and install a teleportal, which is what I think I'm just going to start calling them now. And that should absolutely make it easier to get back and forth. So let's go ahead and lift off. I wish I could bring the launch pad with me. That's my only complaint. But when we do the teleportal stuff later, we'll be able to. So that'll help. Anyways, here we are in a little ship again. We can see the moons all around us. Earth is probably not visible at this point, which I think is... Oh, there it is. Way over there. We're on our way. And as we exit Mars's atmosphere, we should be able to pick another space as well. Now, one of the things that I've been considering doing, but I haven't really been able to weigh out the benefits of doing so, is setting up a space station. Haven't really been able to find a reason to do this yet, but I'm thinking on it. I have ideas, so we'll just see. Ideally, this will land us right on top of our launch pad, just like we had set up previously. I can see the windmills down there. It's kind of fun, actually, being able to see them from so far away. And I think that's the big one. Yep, there's our industrial factory. And we'll go ahead and slow it on down. And there we go. That was a pretty successful trip. Hopefully these are going to start to refill, I think. Let's see, space breathing unit enabled. Right, they only fill when they're in your inventory, specifically your hotbar. We'll go ahead and turn night vision off. Like I said, don't like it, don't need it. We will grab our spaceship out of there, our tier 2 rocket, and we'll destroy that lander as well. And overall, that was a pretty dang good trip to Mars. We have a bunch of stuff we can put away now. We've got all those diamonds that I probably didn't need to get. Like, we're good on diamonds. We have almost 9,000 just from constantly mining in the background. But hey, you know, it is what it is. We'll go ahead and move the sign. I don't think we're going to need it here. And we'll put our nice big rocket there. So you can see the rockets get bigger and bigger as we go up tiers. This one is, what, like 6 blocks, 7 blocks tall. This one's only 6 and some change. They're also, you know, we're getting a little bit beefier as we go up in tiers. So let's go ahead and grab our quest reward here, which was, in fact, another globe. And we'll go ahead and put this globe down here. And that's a nice little globe of Mars. I love it. I love how these little globes spin and how they look. I think they're pretty fun. Anyways, we now have a bunch of ostrum to start parsing and cleaning and processing. So let's get that done. In fact, I can just, you know, take the quick way over here. And we'll just toss this over here in the pulverizer cluster. It doesn't really have to be particularly pretty. And we can just separate these all out like so. You're still working on some iron. That's fair, but I'm probably going to stop you. And so there we go. There's some ostrum dust coming through. We can start to, you know, clean that all up as well, get that all processed. And the ostrum is going to be very, very helpful. In the meantime, while this processes up, because again, that's kind of a decently big deal, I want to see a couple of things. I want to see if I can get these to fill up faster. At all? No? Was it when held? It's only when held. Oh, that's why it wasn't rendering in hand. It's because it keeps on updating, so it's when it's filling up. So it's just kind of flickering in and out, and you just can't see it. So yeah, that's just going to fill. It's not very fast, but it's doing a thing. And when they're full, they render like normal. That makes sense. So I wanted to get the portals set up. So let's go ahead and get a couple of our providers. We're going to want... Let's go ahead and just do 2 for now. Actually, we're going to need a 3rd one. And we're going to need a teleporter here. Let's grab these that aren't stacking just because they're more satisfying to look at. And we're going to need 27 of the teleporter frames. So now let's head over here and let's get these set up, more or less. I know I could have just used the same exact portal as the one I'm building, but whatever. It is what it is, and I think at this point we should probably move the NASA workstation up a little bit. Maybe to here. We'll move this. There's a space under here, which is perfect. I designed this place to give me a little bit of leeway. Do we have any providers yet? Yes, we do. We'll go ahead and hook this guy up to our main network, and we will go ahead and set up a teleporter here with our teleporter frame around the outside, like so. And what we can do is on top of here, we'll put our little globe down, because I think it's pretty fun looking. I don't really love how big this is. I wish that there was... I mean, I could just put it over here in the corner. That would work. But I also just don't want it blocking stuff. So maybe we'll do that and then just leave you in the corner, and we'll just use the corners to craft. I think that'll work. I think that'll work well enough at least. So what we'll do is we'll need to make... let's see. So this would be factory to moon and factory to Mars. Like so. We'll make these 2 channels. We'll set this to factory to moon. And let's set the moon to be a white portal and Mars to be... Let's see. So we'll do you as white. Oh, I guess it's just the color of the portal itself. Fair enough. And so now what we'll do is we'll head over here with our tempad to the moon village. I think that would be a fun place to put this. And then we will... Oh, you know what? We are slightly stranded because I forgot to bring another provider with us. Oh well, we can go ahead and set this up for now. And so what we'll do... Oh. Hello, friend. Can you scoot over just a little bit? Just a tiny bit. Okay, I mean... I'm just going to build around you then. So we're going to do that, and then we'll put this teleporter here, and we'll link you up moon, and that's just going to be white, and that shouldn't have worked. I'm surprised you had power. I guess these save their power when you hold them. Oh, yeah, they do. Okay, cool. That's why that happened then. Let's grab our providers this time. And so, yeah, the moon to moon is going to be white. I will quickly toss the provider down here, like so. We'll hook you up to the main network again. And we're also going to make sure that you are chunk loading. And then that should go there like so. And now we have a way to get places. And I don't know if these guys can go in here or not. That's my only, like, not concern. It'd be kind of funny if they went through. I don't know. Could be fun. We'll find out, I suppose, right? Anyways, so let's get that cleaned up a little bit. And now the only other thing that I want to do is I want to get some laboratory block slabs, which don't exist. So let's use the framed slabs for this. In fact, we could probably do something kind of fun with like the partial slabs even. I'm not really too certain how that would go, but it might be fun to play with a little bit. We could do something like this little platform and then just kind of bump it up on the sides a little bit, like so. And then we're going to use, for sure, the star blocks here would make the most sense. It would be kind of criminal not to use these. So we'll do stars here, and we'll use the framed slabs to kind of do the same thing I did before, where it was mimicking the look of like two halves, but it wasn't actually two halves. So we'll do that with you here and here. And so you would have stars on the inside, and then on the outside you would just have that. Like so, and then we'll do a bunch of laboratory blocks here. And then, are they called panels? Yeah. We could always line this with like panels or just do something like this where it looks like it's a little more secured in. I think that looks okay. Might do one more of these right here just to kind of build that up a little bit. And so now we essentially have our little gate to go places, which I think is pretty fun. So we'll come through on this side, pick up those two concrete that fell through, and that should do it. At this point, our temp pad hopefully has recharged, and we can head over to Mars and do the same thing there. So here in Mars, we're going to reclaim our little landing pad, launch pad rather. And we will build up another one of these guys. We'll hook you up to main, put our portal there. I'll probably like borrow a couple of blocks from around just to kind of make this look a little more built in somewhat. We can do like something like this as well, just to make things look decently good. At least in my opinion, it'll look better than just completely ignoring it. And then this will be factory to Mars, and we're going to set you orange. And unfortunately, there is no link, so we're going to have to... I wonder if we could do moon. I don't know how this works. We're going to find out what this does. That's weird. Can you have 3? Does it cycle you through all 3? No. Okay, so I think right now we are unable to get back to Mars. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer for the recharge to go through. All right, so let's try this again with feeling. Let's go to Mars. And we're going to dial you in from factory to Mars set. And we've got a link there. So now if I go from here to here, this will put me in the factory. You seem a little confused. Oh, I didn't chunk load that. Whoops. Okay, so I got everything chunk loaded. Hopefully this works. So now if I go through, you should maintain a link because it's chunk loaded on the other side. If I come here and set it to moon, should set us in the moon village. Good. Just wanted to make sure that nothing weird was happening, that nothing was kind of acting wonky. So the only concern is if I used my tempad to get somewhere that I wasn't supposed to be. But honestly, I'm not really too concerned about that since, you know, things are going to be kind of strange. So yeah, let's hope that that just kind of continues to work and doesn't act stranger. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think this is all I'm going to be able to put out this week because I have to pack up and leave for a trip, and it's going to be a little crazy. And next week, there definitely won't be any videos as well because I'll actually be on vacation, and so we're trying to find a new place to live, a new city to live in, and kind of get all that stuff sorted out, which is rather complicated. And, you know, video production is kind of, you know, lower priority. It's still high priority for me. I still want to be able to produce stuff for y'all, but I'm not going to, you know, bend over backwards to make things happen. So I hope you enjoyed this one, though, and I will be back in a couple of weeks. See you then.